What's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Rob. I like to play games, and welcome back to the Commander Corner. Today, we're going to be looking at something a little unique. I've decided that today we are going to ignore the 5 colors in Magic, and we're going to look at a colorless deck. Colorless is a unique style in that, well, you have no colored pips. That means everything in your deck has to be colorless mana. That could be Eldrazi, that can be artifacts, and if you know me, well, we're probably doing artifacts. So let's take a look at what we've got here and move forward with that. All right, and here we are. This is a deck I have called the Silver Wave. It is being headlined by the one, the only, Karn, Legacy Reforged. Karn is a 5-mana legendary artifact creature, golem, whose power and toughness are each equal to the greatest mana value among artifacts you control. That's all great. The real power of Karn is going to come from his second ability here, where at the beginning of your upkeep, you're going to add a colorless mana for each artifact you control. This mana cannot be spent to cast non-artifact spells, and until end of turn, you don't lose mana as steps and phases end. So that means you gain all the mana at the upkeep, and you keep that mana till the end of your turn. So make sure you spend it, but that means you can hang on to it for flash tricks, as well as other things during combat, as long as it's spent on artifacts. So let's take a look at the deck here and kind of see where we're going with this. So we will start with our rather large ramp package here. We're pretty much running every mana rock under the sun. Like that's just kind of how we have to be with this deck. There's not a whole lot of other ramp that you can do in a colorless deck. Again, everything in the deck has to be colorless. So we're running Everflowing Chalice. We're running Soul Ring. Environmental Sciences. This is from the original Strixhaven. Colorless spell that allows you to search for a basic land. Yes, wastes our basic land. So it allows us to get those out. Hedron Crawler, 2-mana Mana Dork, Element or Liquid Metal Torque, Mind Stone, Ornithopter of Paradise. Yes, it adds 1 mana of any color. We don't care. We just need the mana pip, and it's cheap. Prismatic Lens, Thought Vessel. A lot of these things that you've probably never run in a deck. We get to run and abuse Palladium Mirror. 3 mana tap, add 2. Sonic Screwdriver is a fun one as well from the Doctor Who set. 3 mana rock that can also for 1 mana tap it to untap another target artifact. 2 mana and tap it to scry, or 3 mana and tap it, target creature can't be blocked. All of them fantastic abilities. Probably one of the most underrated 3 mana rocks. This is Manifold Key, with a mana rock attached to it. So very powerful for what it does there. Hedron Archive, Sad Robot, Thran Dynamo. The big ones, though, are Ugin, the Ineffable. All colorless spells cost 2 less. Great. Also has Exile the top card of your library face down. And look at it. You create a 2/2 colorless spirit creature token. When this token leaves the battlefield, put the exiled card into your hand. Really good. And then -3 is destroy target permanent that's 1 or more colors. Great. And then Forsaken Monument, easily one of the most powerful mana rocks we have in here. Gives all of your colorless creatures +2/+2. Everything in our deck is a colorless creature. Whenever you tap a permanent for a colorless mana, you add an additional, and whenever you cast a colorless spell, gain 2 life. This thing is really strong, really powerful. All of your mana rocks now add an additional mana, which is absolutely great, and helps us, keep going into the battlefield. Our draw package, a little light, so let's go over some of the cards here. We have Zenith Chronicler. This guy's kind of underrated in my opinion. You could play him in a lot of different decks. He fits really good in here though, where for 2 mana, whenever a player casts their first multicolored spell each turn, each other player draws a card. We're never going to play a multicolored spell. We don't have to worry about our opponents drawing cards off of this. Yes, it's helping out 2 of our opponents, but it's helping out us, and again, we're kind of strapped for things that draw. We're running Introduction to Prophecy, again, one of the lessons from the original Strixhaven, Scry 2 and Draw. Mystic Forge lets us play all of our artifacts off the top of our library, or well, artifact spells and colorless. Since everything's colorless, this thing's going to really go high there. And Canoptic Spider, this is from the Warhammer set. Whenever another non-token artifact, creature, or vehicle enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. Again, just another way to draw there, as well as Mind's Eye. Whenever an opponent draws a card, you can pay 1. If you do, draw a card. Just a nice way to kind of keep ourselves going. We are also running Staff of Nin, which allows you at the beginning of your upkeep to draw a card, and then it can ping something. Honestly, the pinging's not relevant, but it is another draw. You know, every turn drawing 2 cards isn't bad. And lastly, we have Sandstone Oracle. 7 mana, 4/4 flyer. Enters the battlefield, choose an opponent. If that player has more cards in hand than you, draw cards equal to the difference. You got no cards in hand, but an opponent has 7, draw 7 or 4. Like, it's really good at getting us stuff back in our hand later in the game. Removal Suite. Colorless actually has quite a few niche removal spells that are really nice. We have Null Elemental Blast, counter or destroy target multicolored spell or permanent. Kozilek's Command, we do have to run some Eldrazi stuff. I know it's the big boogeyman of everybody, but they do have some amazing colorless spells. Target player creates X 0/1 Eldrazi spawn tokens. This allows us to ramp more. Target player scries X and draws a card. Has a draw ability on us. Exile target creature with mana value X or less, or exile up to X target cards from a graveyard. Just overall a really strong card. I cannot, praise this card enough. Spatial Contortion, Warping Will, again, just simple destruction effects. Titan's Presence, as an additional cost, reveal a colorless creature card from your hand. We're going to have a lot of those. And then you exile target creature if its power is less than or equal to the revealed creature or the revealed card's power. So very powerful there for us. We do have some really big things. Selective Obliteration. Each player chooses a color, then exile each permanent unless it's colorless or it's only the chosen color. So again, removes multicolored permanents from the game, as well as we're running the fan favorite, All Is Dust. Each player sacrifices all permanents they control that are 1 or more colors. This card's just a one-sided board wipe for us. Everything's going to stay around for us. We're also running Scour from Existence, as well as Zuko's Exile, expensive targeted removal that exile things. And then, of course, Cityscape Leveler. When you cast it and whenever it attacks, destroy up to 1 target non-land permanent. Its controller creates a tapped Power Stone. Sure, they get some ramp out of it, but we're destroying things. We do have a couple token engines here with Hangerback Walker and Wormcoil Engine, some recursion with Mer Retriever, Scrap Trawler, Metalwork Colossus, and a suite of protection spells, mostly Liberator and Shimmermere, allowing us to cast things as though they had flash. Crypto Thrall gives all of our artifacts hexproof. And then Eldritch Immunity, target creature you control gains protection from each other color until end of turn. However, you can pay 5 mana to overload it to give your entire board that protection effect. So, how are we winning with this deck? Because we're making a lot of stuff. We're kind of controlling the board here, using our colorless packaging and everything that we got. Well, we've got a few finishers here. We've got Nettlecyst. When it enters the battlefield, it creates a 0/0 black Phyrexian Germ token that equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact and or enchantment you control. Yes, it's a colored token, I know, don't sue me, but this card is just really strong at what it does, as well as Darksteel Juggernaut. Indestructible, power and toughness equals the number of artifacts you control, and it has to attack each combat. This thing's really difficult to get rid of, and it's just going to keep rolling in, and it's eventually going to win a game. And then lastly, we've got the Big Daddy Darksteel. Trample, indestructible. If you put into a graveyard, reveal it and shuffle it into your library. What's there to say? Like, Darksteel Colossus is a great card. It's been around forever. It has been format warping for a while. And this is the perfect deck for it, as we're just going to have the mana to cast it. Lastly, I do want to highlight another Eldrazi card. I know, but again, we're colorless. But this one is Echoes of Eternity. If a triggered ability of a colorless spell you control or another colorless permanent you control triggers, that ability triggers an additional time. So any of our ETB effects trigger twice. It allows us to really, keep the pressure on with that, as well as the other ability, whenever you cast a colorless spell, copy it. So as long as whatever we're casting isn't a legendary creature, we get 2 of them. That's big. That's really going to help us, steamroll into the late game. Like, oh, we play Darksteel Juggernaut. Now we have 2 of them. Some early plays here. We've got Stonecoil Serpent, reach, trample, protection for multicolored, and enters with X +1/+1 counters on it, as well as Patchwork Automaton. 2 mana, 2/2, ward 2, not irrelevant. I mean, that does mean, if you want to get rid of this little guy with single targeted removal, you're going to be paying more. And then whenever you cast an artifact spell, he gets a +1/+1 counter. So just something to keep us moving in the right direction there. We do have 1 tutor in the deck as well, in Kuldotha Forgemaster. 5 mana, 3/5, tap, sacrifice 3 artifacts, search your library for an artifact, and put it onto the battlefield. This is really good for us to go and get our Darksteel Colossus or our Juggernaut. Hell, even Wormcoil Engine or Metalwork Colossus work great in a pinch. We do have 1 stacks piece as well, just to kind of help us control the game, where non-artifact spells cost 1 more to cast. I know not everybody loves stacks pieces, but Karn kind of needs it. Colorless decks in general kind of need it, especially one like this, just because of the nature of the beast. We're going to be a little bit slower. We're dropping some bigger threats, sure, but we do need some sort of way to protect ourselves, and that's the way to do it. Lastly, let's take a look at our mana base. Now, being a colorless deck, that does have some benefits there in the fact that we can run way more utility lands than normal decks. We do run our standard wastes because we do need those, but we do also get to run the full set of Urza's lands. We've got Urza's Cave, Factory, Mine, Power Plant, Tower, so we have Tron, and Workshop. One of the more expensive cards in the deck. I know I try and keep some of these things a little bit lower, but this felt like an auto-include here, where it taps for a colorless and then taps for Metalcraft, add colorless for each Urza land you control, activate only if you control 3 or more artifacts. If you have 2 Urza lands, this thing starts going off. War Room's great. We don't have any colors, so we pay 3 to draw a card. Pretty good. And then Ugin's Labyrinth, we have a lot of big things where we can imprint 1 early. This turns into, a double land. It's a Soul Ring at that point. And then we can return the exiled land to our hand later in the game. Mycosynth Gardens. We don't care about the color ability, but X and tap, it becomes a copy of target non-token artifact you control with mana value X. Gives us another one of those. Mishra's Factory, it's a man land. It's a way for us to get in there in the early game if we need to. Deserted Temple lets us untap that Urza's Workshop for more mana ramp. Buried Ruin gets us back some of our artifacts from the graveyard. Arc of Arc of Orzaka. You can ascend, giving you the Ascending's Blessing as long as you have 10 or more permanents. Gives us another draw. We need a draw. Lands happen to be the draw. And then lastly, a land I want to cover here that's a little more on the pricey side, but works here, is Inventor's Fair. It's another tutor. It allows us to go and grab our win condition and just go from there. With that, here's the mana curve. It's going to be heavy, but I did try and keep it, in the 2 to 3 range until we get Karn out, and then it just kind of takes off. That was my ultimate goal with this. Let's get into a playtest and kind of show you what we're doing. All right, here we are with the playtest here. Honestly, it's a 3-land hand. We've got some ramp pieces. We've got a way to copy things and an All Is Dust to protect ourselves. Let's run it and see what happens. So we're going to start off with just a waste. And then we're going to start off with, screw it, we'll do the Buried Ruin. And I mean, here we can go Soul Ring into Ornithopter. Not bad. Or if we really want to, we could do Foundry Inspector. I think that might be a better play here. So then we can go turn 3, waste 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, we're going to have 1 left, because we're going to play Karn. Karn's currently a 3/3. Might as well play this as well. Okay, so turn 3, we've got our commander online. You know, seems pretty good. Next turn, all right. Karn's going to check how many artifacts we have. We have 4, so we're going to add 4 colorless mana that can only be spent on artifacts. Well, good thing we've got the mirror here. We can just spend that, play the mirror. Actually, we still have one more because it costs 1 less. But here's kind of the problem, like I was mentioning, we don't really have a lot of ways to draw cards right now. 3, 6, 7, 8. This would be 9. We don't really have 10 permanents yet to have the city's blessing, so we'll do the, what is this called? Zalfaran Void, which allows us to scry 1 when it enters the battlefield. Hedron Archive, I think we can do better than that. You know, and maybe we just want to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You know what? We're just gonna blow everything up. We're gonna make sure our stuff lives as we go into turn 5. Turn 5, we got Ugin. Okay, cool. That's going to then give us again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 mana for artifacts and no artifacts, unfortunately, to do anything with. But I mean, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll do Ugin. And then we'll do this. So now we have the city's blessing. Cool. Ugin makes all of our colorless spells cost 2 less. Sure, we'll just -3 them, destroy something, say they played something that we didn't want. So everything's 2 less. Sure, we'll Kha'Zix's Command. And we're going to choose ourselves to scry 2 and draw a card. Put you on the bottom, and we'll draw the Meteor Golem. Sure. Can't really do anything with the Meteor Golem right now, but that's not a bad thing. Or does this do 2? Oh, choose 2, yeah. And so the other mode we'll do is we'll make, let's use Scions or Spawns. Spawns, okay. So we get 2 spawns. So with that then, we'll use our 5 mana and our 2 spawns to play Meteor Golem. Don't even need to, we can keep the spawns. So it's 2 less, 3 less. God, so we still have a mana left. Yeah, you guys can see where this can like get kind of out of hand. But I mean, this is gonna make Big Daddy Karn a 7/7 now. Like, and it's turn 5. I'd say we're doing pretty good here. You know, we'll do that. We'll play this, and oh, we gained 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana this turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tap to draw a card because we have the city's blessing. Spatial Contortion. Let's plus him. We're gonna say this goes face down. Yeah, it's a 2/2. Right, because Ugin makes it a 2/2. Yeah, so it's a 2/2 colorless spirit token. And then if the token dies, we get the Thran Dynamo. Seems good to us. Let's do one more hand, and then we'll get into the maybe board. Alright, this hand is a little weaker. We've only got 1 land, so we can't keep that. This one, 2 lands and a lot of ramp. Let's try it. Let's see what happens. So turn 1, we're going to do this. We're going to do Soul Ring. Are you a 2 or a 3 cost? You're a 2 cost, so we're going to play that. Okay, so first round through, everyone's only on 1 land. Doubt someone's playing a multicolored spell, so we probably didn't draw from that. Turn 2, though. 2, 3, 4, Thran Dynamo. We don't have 3. You know, 3 mana, whatever. We'll just play a Mer Retriever. Let's say one person played a multicolored spell, and we'll draw for our turn. We'll play Urza's Workshop. Yeah, that's not really going to tap for much, but it's already got the Metalcraft going. So now we can do 3, 4, 5, play Karn. And we'll say 2 people played multicolored spells. Our turn, draw. All right, and on our turn, we made 5 mana. We'll spend 2 of that to play the Cyberman Patrol. Can't really spend much else with that. That's okay. Let's go 5 mana to cast Introduction to Annihilation. Exile target non-land permanent. Its controller draws a card. Cool. No big deal. Still got this 3 mana that we can't really do much with, but we can do same play we did last time. Make 2 spawns. Scry 2. Draw. Great card for us to find here. So next turn, we make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we can't use that to play this, but 5, 6. Now we'll play it. Now every colorless spell we cast is doubled. And you can kind of see where this kind of snowballs out. And again, it's turn 5, and we're doing all this with colorless. That's part of what makes this deck seem really powerful, is the fact that it does accelerate so quickly. Karn must be answered in a lot of these instances, and, you know, again, these are just goldfishes. There's a lot of times where this may not happen, but, like, I mean, okay, even here. So we did another turn, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 again. We'll spend 3. We get 2 of these. Yeah, we could really use some card draw here. I'm not saying we couldn't. But, like, this goes really hard, really fast. And now we could do, like, this. This copies it, right? Yeah. So now we're exiling 2 things. Yeah, we're giving them clue tokens, but we're removing things from play. All while Big Daddy Karn is still, you know, yeah, he's not that powerful, but we're controlling. We're running the table. So I hope that gives you guys a pretty good idea of what the deck can do. Let's go back to the deck and look at the maybe board. If you've got some money that you want to spend on this, I've got some picks for you. So first and foremost, Mox Opal. Fast mana rock. Helps us do our plan faster, you know. Again, price tag's up there, so take that with a grain of salt. Urza Saga, another great card for this deck, makes Constructs, 0/0 construct that gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control. Really powerful on Chapter 2. And then Chapter 3 allows you to search your deck for any artifact with mana value 1 or less, I believe it is, or is it just 1? 0 or 1. So you can grab your Soul Ring, just put that into play. Any of your artifact lands, you can do that. Not so great here. Maybe you would go a different route with that if that's what you were doing, but, you know, it is an option. Blightsteel Colossus, I omitted this one just because of the price tag. This would be the replacement for Darksteel Colossus. This thing just wins games by itself. Trample, Infect, Indestructible, so it's an 11/11. As long as they block with anything less than 2 power, you're getting in and you're winning the game. And then again, if it would be put into a graveyard from anywhere, it goes back into the library. So exile is the only real way. And then for those of you who have been playing for an absolute ever, or just have the money around, Metalworker, tap, reveal any number of artifact cards in your hand, add 2 colorless mana to your mana pool for each card revealed this way. It's another Karn, more or less. It's much cheaper in mana value, but it's so much more expensive. But it does allow us to ramp out big things faster, in which that may be what you want to do. So it's just another direction to take this deck, if that does interest you. Obviously, you know, we would still have access to any of the other, you know, Moxes if you wanted to go that route. If for bracket 3 or higher, you know, we can do Chrome Mox. You know, we can do Chrome Mox. You could do Mox Diamond. I can't spell today. You know, these are things you could do if you wanted to go that route. Again, they're a bit more on the pricing side. You could do Ancient Tomb. You know, there are options here depending on how you want to do it. The big downside of this deck is you don't have a whole lot of draw options, but you're going to be dumping your big things and you're going to be playing them real fast. So with that, I am going to wrap this up. I hope you all enjoyed this video and looking at a colorless deck. Next week, we'll see what we do here. I have no plans currently, but maybe something will spark my interest, or maybe one of you can leave a comment on the video and tell me what you'd like to see. You can also reach out to me on the Jungle Games Discord. Link for that will be in the description, as well as the deck list for Arkham Deck. And until next time, my name is Rob. I like to play games, and I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. See you next time. Take care, everybody.